So here I'm writing word that some parents love to screw up about their kids' abilities. Some may not do it intentionally, not thinking straight, especially if they're alcoholics. My parents were alcoholics, drug addicts, stuff like that. Stuff I don't like, don't value. But it doesn't mean I don't value the person. There's a quote that says, dislike the sin, not the sinner, or something about that. And I can totally relate to that, because I'm not a fan of sin. I don't value it. And because of forced certain situations that I've been in, a lot of times that's not cool. So I continue to write about different things that I believe. Unskilled, skilled, skills, skill, underskilled, with here's another one, semi-skilled, underskilled is basically where the skill is not fully developed all the way to show they know the skill well. Semi-skilled means they're half-skilled, which would be similar to underskilled. They're limited in how they show the skill. This means they're not skilled at all, which I wouldn't even use this in my vocabulary, because that's not professional to say at all. A good one you can use are these two, or this one. So I'm gonna write a question here. Yeah, my handwriting is a little bad. Whoops. Sometimes my letters vary from when I'm writing it. This is a dry erase. So I'm only going to use one of the different types of classes. So it says, how skilled are you in writing? I can be really skilled, but not all the way skilled. So underskilled and semi-skilled, but not unskilled. Unskilled could mean a variety of things. It could mean I could only show this, but that's not still unskilled, because of the different ways that it can be. So I like using, let's see, not that one. I'm writing it a certain way, by the way, so my letters are not going to be formed correctly. From my, not giving myself room again, perspective. Oh! Which is another meaning for in my opinion. So it's more of not 100% professionalized in something, but it's it can be generally viewed as, in my opinion. not all fact-based. Because certain things, yeah, and this is the problem with skills. There are facts and skills, but because people like to use opinion too often and not fact, that is another thing. Because fact means it could be proven true, whereas opinion, it cannot. And if you read more on fact and opinion, it varies per grade on how they decide to use facts and opinions. And then there's a 4th grade book that I read about fact and opinion on this. So I could say from my perspective, words are tip. And you, as you can see here, I go different ways with how I decide to write a sentence. So like this, may vary on that. I have to rewrite. Damn it. Yeah, and that's another thing when I'm writing, because my mind's going haywire right now. And I'm putting the date on here for some reason. Yeah, what is the date? In 20 something. I'll just put this year. That's the other part of why things are complex for other people. But it all varies on the individual. This is a dry erase board. It's actually a dry erase tray. So, you can use it for multiple reasons. As you see over here, I got some coping things that I have on here for when I'm in distress. I use that for coping. And this is magnet. Yes, that's gonna stick to the board. Might not always, because it's pretty dirty. I need to wash it. And then as you can see there, my name's on here. Which, if I spell it upside down, yeah, I'm dyslexic because I spell my name upside down. Not fully true there. This is say some doctors are getting way out of their belief. Because there was a guy in the movie that said that something about that. This girl could. It's called Broken, where this girl read better turning the book upside down. I can't do that. Yeah, good luck on that. I just learned to copycat certain things as I got older. Not all the time intentionally. Most of it was to get familiar with certain patterns. So, otherwise, this is my beautiful name that is often misspelled. It's an 1800s based name, which means it started getting recognized by the 1800s. And because this alters to the male version, which leads to Christopher. So that's another thing with names. And when I worked at Hallmark, we sold name cards, which means these cards have the person's first or last name, and they would go based off biblical scripture. So what they would do was take a biblical scripture and put it as a part of the name. That's how they did that. And I don't exactly remember how much those cards sold for. I think there's still some Hallmark buildings left, even though they're on retirement, and I don't know if they're gonna longer have Hallmark around. But that's one of the unique things I can do. Very unique, but yeah, so before you assume, get all the facts. Because there's this word, diagnosis, you got the SIS, and then you get, yeah, I'm capitalizing it and probably shouldn't be capitalized that. SES. One is, I'm giving away the answer here. Whoop. Singular, which means the diagnosis is only one. And then this one is plural. Finally spell plural now. Good job. It would be the ES, SES for plural. I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah, see, that's the problem with my family, is when you don't go into a lot of the details all the way, it hurts you more than it helps you. And yeah, and sometimes to separate the information, I do that. I don't always like underlining it, because sometimes it can confuse me. But this is something I wanted to do ever since I could remember, regardless of the shit my family would say. That's totally unprofessional. Yeah, I say a lot of unprofessional things too, but sometimes professional has to be prioritized in a certain way, and usually it's daily that it's professionalized or prioritized as professionalized. So for me, it just varies on the level that I want to go to or choose to go to, not just one. So like the word, let's see, let's do one word here. Just knock it off, stupid thing. And now my fucking marker likes to give me an attitude. So I have to change it real quick. And yes, it does have an eraser on it. Forgot to use that part of the eraser. So back to this now. And sometimes I make my letters a certain way so they go over them again instead of crossing it out. Now, some people suggest that I don't use growing up. But I'm writing it anyway. And I can rewrite that later if I choose to. But basically, I did live in different places growing up. And some were houses, some were apartments, some were duplexes. No condos so far. Oh, condos. Some condominiums require you to mow the lawn. Kind of similar to houses. So, yeah. I like townhomes better than apartments because there's not as many units, but they are expensive. But some are like on one floor versus you get other townhomes that are when I delivered the newspaper register carrier, since it's no longer Paperboy, since I'm not a boy, that is another issue with certain words like mail carrier, because they're male and female, not just one gender. Like firefighters, there's firemen and there's firewomen. So yeah, and that's another issue people have too, is they don't respect that. And in certain careers, yeah, it's easy to get some of those mixed up. Because I had multiple careers that I wanted to learn more about as I got older. I wanted to see which ones I could do, which ones I needed to take more time on to achieve, which was against some of my family's values, which is why I don't like respecting all of my family values, because my values wasn't their values, and their values wasn't my values. And that makes Isaiah 55, 8 through 9 so accurate, because this is different things about thoughts and values with you and the Lord. The differences between the two. Which is also another way you can use scripture, like Joel Osteen uses scripture like that as well.